Hi beautiful people, this is TAAJIRAUF here. Welcome to my channel. Make sure that you subscribe right now to my channel because I do show reviews, and this is a show review for Blood, Sweat, and Heels Season 1, Episode 3. And I will tell you, I watched episode 1 and 2 and I didn't like it that much. I didn't like those episodes, but I stuck with it and I really enjoyed myself as I watched episode 3. So it was a lot different. They showed the ladies showing what they do. I learned more about what Geneva does. I learned more about what Micah does. I learned more about what Daisy does. So those three, the show was about them, and it showed what they do in business, and it showed me the blood and sweat part. Episode 1 and 2 was more about the heels, and episode 3 is more about the blood and sweat. So it starts with Geneva, and Geneva is at it's her new job at Uptown Magazine, and the CEO of Uptown Magazine comes in and says, we need to get you some business cards. We would like to have you on board. Because of that, we're going to have a party for you. And she's excited, and she also is on the phone talking with a potential person who wants to be an advertiser, a potential advertiser, or someone who just wants to be a part of what Uptown is doing. And I'm like, this is what I wanted to see the first 2 episodes, showing what these ladies do. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, what are they doing? They just have them running around screaming, talking about sex? That wasn't cool. I like that they are showing them doing the blood and sweat part. That's really cool. And Geneva was very happy about it and excited that she's going to have the party. And then it cuts to Demetria talking with Bri. Bri is the voice of reason. She's like, let's be classy, let's be ladylike. Demetria, you should go and talk with Geneva. You guys do not need to be on a sour note. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make sense. And Demetria agreed with her, because Demetria even said it, I don't want to burn a bridge, right? And then after she said that, I'm like, I see why she doesn't want to burn a bridge. Because Geneva works at a magazine, and Demetria once worked at Essence magazine, but I'm sure she works from magazine to magazine, so Geneva is her contact for Uptown magazine at this point. Of course, she could grow and get another contact, but it's good to already have somebody to start with, and you guys are doing the show with. Why burn the bridge? You guys work in the same industry. You are in the same circles. Work together. Which is why I don't see why they argue in the first place, but some people do make you mad, and when you give people liquor, sometimes that's what happens. And then it cuts to Micah, and we see Micah talking with her model, and her model comes in, and it doesn't sound like she had a good go-see. Then her model walks, and then Micah has to show her how to walk. She's going to have to work with that girl, but that's Micah's company. But Micah could walk very well, and Micah, you could tell when she was in her heyday of her modeling, she used to work it, and she was funny. She said something, she was stretching her body around like, I can stretch, I'm a dancer. Oh my gosh, she is hilarious. She does drink a lot. I can tell she drinks a lot. Even at some point she was slurring her words. It's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine here and there or doing what you do, but she must drink all the time, because she was slurring her words, and they're taping the show, and she's just like, ah. So her and her boyfriend Terry go play basketball, I guess for some exercise, and then they're playing, they're going back and forth, and then it like cuts back to her talking to, I believe it's Bri, about how Terry cheated on her with someone that he had been in a 20-year relationship with. I was like, huh? That didn't even make sense to me. I'm like, I hope that's not what I heard. If that's what you heard, tell me down below. I hope that she just said he cheated on me. But if he cheated on you with someone that he had been in a 20-year relationship with, girl, that's not cool. That seems like that was somebody he was with for a very long time, and for you to say I don't know, it wasn't confusing. I saw the fallacy in that. I'm like, if he's cheating on you with someone he was with 20 years, are you is that relationship over? How long have you and him been together? Why is this happening? You know what I mean? So I can kind of understand the drinking if that's the case, but I know that's not why she's drinking. We learn a little bit later that she has issues with her dad, and he's mean, and he's emotionally draining for her, so they just don't talk, you know what I mean? And she had to just separate herself from him, and then in the next episode, she goes to see him in the hospital, so it makes sense, but I hope she gets a different kind of help, because it's not gonna work in a bottle. And then it goes to Daisy, and Daisy shows what she does. She wrote a book called Never Pay Retail Again, right? And she said they're relaunching her book in digital format. Now, she was in the Simon & Schuster offices. I would love to have my books published by Simon & Schuster. I like what they do with authors. They're very hands-on. I like Simon & Schuster. But anyway, she's in there with her literary agent, and they're talking about what she wants to do with the new book cover. And they show her the new book covers, and she has on red and blue. And she's like, I don't really like it. I wish I had on some pink and green. I understand blue. I know you want some different colors. But red and blue, and the way that you looked on that cover, the red and blue is more eye-catching. It'll sell more books. That's what it's all about. And then she was like, I'm relaunching the book in digital format. She just put that book out, and I doubt that Simon & Schuster didn't put out a digital format the first time. But I do know, as a self-publisher, it's easier to take down a digital book and then relaunch it with a new cover than to relaunch print book and an ebook. So that's all they did. They're just relaunching the ebook with a new cover. And the cover is really nice, and Never Pay Retail Again, so she talks about her book. And then it goes to Micah talking about her business. Blood, sweat. That's what we're getting, y'all. We're getting all about this blood and sweat. So her model comes in like this black dress, and they talk about her go-see, and the model tries to walk, and then Micah walks. So Micah looks good walking. You could tell that in her heyday, she did good. So that was good. I like seeing that. So I saw those three, Geneva, Daisy, and Micah's blood and sweat. Okay? So Geneva works at Uptown Magazine and does, I don't know what the other things are. I haven't heard that yet. It's not clear to me. And then Daisy, the book, and she does other things, but that's not clear to me. Then Micah, the modeling agency. And then it goes to Demetria and Geneva meeting up for basically coffee and tea at like a little restaurant. And Geneva orders a drink with some Grand Marnier. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really funny. And Demetria is drinking some tea, and they're talking back and forth. But you could tell that Geneva is physically upset. Like, she is shaking her body as they're talking. Because she even said it. I felt dismissed. I felt that you weren't hearing what I was saying. It was almost like, it seemed like Geneva told her some things, probably in confidence at one point, and they talked about it at another point, and then it's on the blog. It's like, those are fresh wounds. It sounded like Geneva felt like Demetria had poured salt on that wound by talking about it on the blog. But I will say this. Now that they are on Bravo, people are going to talk about you guys, so you guys can't get mad at people. You have to have thick skin. Like Melissa Ford said, she said, I've been called every name in the book. I've been all over. In the blogs, in magazines, people talk. She's even in rap songs. Hello, what did Game say about her? I can't remember the lyric, but Game even talked about her in a rap song. So you got to have tough skin. But let me get back to that. When Daisy was talking with Melissa, Daisy is Shady Boots. She could be Shady Boots, and then she thinks she's not Shady Boots, and that's the worst thing you could do, is think you're not Shady Boots. She goes, yeah, that's something you're used to, talking to Melissa Ford. Melissa Ford is trying to give you some advice. You're trying to throw shots, and then it also shows Daisy say, I don't like those kind of people that go, I keep it real, I keep it real. But I'm like, that's exactly who you are. You're one of those, I keep it real, I say whatever's on my mind type of people. And then you say you don't like those kind of people. Girl, get your life. But I did see when she tried to throw that little shot at Melissa. But Melissa Ford has been in the entertainment industry with people for a long time. She was just looking like, just hearing her out, not really taking it too seriously. Doing a little clip for the show. And then what else? The next thing that happened, I think, after we see Daisy, and then what's her name? Melissa Ford meets up with Micah. Melissa Ford gets dressed at Micah's house for the event, and then they go to the event for Geneva. The party. And Geneva's all excited. She looks all cute. She's all happy that it's happening for her. And I'm sure that was a good feeling. You just got a promotion. A television show is filming you. You're just starting out. Your mom is proud of you. She told you she's happy for you. You know what I mean? Oh, I just want to say this. Uptown Magazine did not have any posters up, any magazines around, so all I could see was when Bravo put their names of who the people were. If I know that I'm going to be around someone that is going to be filmed, I'm going to have a t-shirt, I'm going to have my magazines up, I'm going to be branding, promoting, and marketing myself. And I do understand they didn't know this show was going to end up on television because I live in LA, so I've seen people filming reality shows before, and some of those shows never see the light of day. They don't even make it on here to YouTube, okay? So I'm sure the people were like, whatever, that might not make it, but it ended up on the show. But so you always have to be prepared. Like, you see, I'm always thinking about the business aspect, which is why I want to see the blood and sweat. And I want to see the blood and sweat because I'm an author, and I want to see the two authors on there talk about writing, talk about being an author. They are published by big-time publishers. I'm just a self-publisher. Talk about that. Stop fighting. You know what I mean? You guys know each other. Chill out. Oh, Demetria did throw a shot, though, when Demetria said, "Where's the Daisy that came up to me and said, I love your writing. It was phenomenal." I'm like, oh, you tried to sun her. You sunned her right there, girl. I saw you. So you and Daisy, you guys are clashing because you're not similar, but you're in the same arena. And you guys are throwing shots at each other. Something else happened. Okay, maybe we'll find out later, but something else happened. Daisy knows something. You know something. I don't know. And then they're at the party, and Melissa and Micah get drunk. They're not even pissy drunk. You know why I know they're not pissy drunk? They are putting on, okay? Bravo told them, go in there and drink something. It'll be good for the episode. And that's exactly what they did. Because if they didn't act like that, Geneva would have got a clip at that party, okay? You know how reality shows go. So they had them drinking and drinking because Melissa Ford wasn't that drunk, and Melissa Ford knows how to behave or act in different scenarios. She's been in the industry for a long time. She wasn't drunk. They were putting on, okay? But what Geneva said about Melissa Ford was not nice, but she was pissed off. This is like her employers, and you're acting, that's like me inviting some friends to my job, and then some friends act a fool inside my job, like talking, drinking coffee, talking loud in the hallways, that kind of thing. So I understand where she was like, oh my God. She did distance herself, but then the crazy part is because she's on the show, she had to sit with them. So it was like a catch-22. Uptown Magazine is fine. She still got her job, y'all. Oh, but did you hear when they announced that she had the job? They go, we would like to welcome Geneva to Uptown Lifestyle. I'm like, what's Uptown Lifestyle? I thought it was Uptown Magazine. So maybe, just maybe, Geneva works for the online magazine portion of Uptown Magazine and then does like some branding stuff for the print edition, or for both, or only for the online. We'll see. You guys tell me. If you know, tell me down below. Shoot. I don't know. But I was like, why did it say Uptown Magazine? Then he said Uptown Lifestyle. But it was good that she got the job. It just wasn't good that the girls acted a fool. Then the show is ending. The girls are outside drunk and loud and obnoxious. I believe Micah was extremely drunk. And Melissa, she was just doing what they asked her to do for the show. And they tried to get in a cab. The cab was weird. It wouldn't stop for Melissa because she was acting like a drunk. In New York, they're like, we're not taking her, that's messed up. And then they finally did get a cab. They get in. The cab driver is trying to run over Micah's foot, just being very disrespectful. Bri gets him out the cab. The voice of reason calls another cab, and then the cab will be there to pick them up in a couple minutes, and then everybody's good and walking down the street. Then it shows us what's going to happen in episode 4, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I enjoyed the episode. Lastly, why did the guy that went on the date with Daisy show up at the party? He looked way too excited to be there. Like he tries to calm himself down, but he is feeling being on a television show, and he's getting some airtime. So I'm hoping he's getting a little bit of a check, because I'm sure we'll see him again, because he is just telling all the business. He goes in, and the first thing he says to Demetria is, "I went out with your friend Daisy," and said that Daisy invited him out. I wonder, is that true? Did Daisy invite him out, or was it the other way around? But I will say, Daisy was rude for showing up late. If she did not want to come, she should have said that. And he said she has no class. What she did was not classy at all. I don't think she doesn't have any class. I think what she did wasn't classy. So I see what he was trying to do. This is what I think about that guy. I think he was trying to get into a relationship with Daisy during the taping of this show so he can get that airtime like his cousin. His cousin is Demetria's fiance, so he's like, shoot, let me try to hook up with Daisy, see what's going on, give me some airtime. Anyway, I don't know. But then he talks about Daisy and how she started crying, but he didn't tell the full story. He didn't tell how he was being mean to her. You know what I mean? He's like, and Demetria was just talking back and forth with him, but I did kind of notice she was very comfortable talking with him, but when she talks to women, her face gets a little bit more scrunched up, and it's like, but when it's with the guy, she's just like, hey, you know. So maybe she's just one of those ladies who just is more comfortable around men. I understand, but they were being shady outside talking about Daisy. Oh, and then it shows Daisy with her dad. They have a great relationship, and he was like, you need to just drop your handkerchief and let a man pick it up. He wants his daughter to be, of course, married. You know, he was like, I saw some construction workers. Then they flash back to them, well, during the dinner they talk about when she was 4 trying to tap dance, and she wasn't a Daisy then, she was a tumbleweed. Her dad was funny. He gave her a little locket. So she looks up to her dad, but, you know, she's a daddy's girl. I think she needs to talk more to him or to somebody about how she really acts in relationships, because, you know, you can't show up to dates late, girl. Just don't go. And so her and her dad go back and forth. So that's why she wasn't at the party with the other girls. You know what I mean? And I like this show that they're trying to bring the family element a lot more into this. That shows blood. That shows the blood, right? Sweat and heels, because they're trying to bring in Geneva's mom, and then her dad came all the way from LA to go eat with his daughter and talk with her, and then who else? And then Bri talks about her dad. So I think that's a really good component, that's showing a whole story. I just wish the girls like understood what they were in when they were getting filmed. Maybe for season 2, season 2, they'll get it, and it'll be less about drama, because the drama stuff. Come on, y'all. Be different. Be different. You guys are working, hustling too hard to just be any old reality show. And that's how I'll end it. And I will see you guys for episode 4, right? Episode 4. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, beautiful people. Subscribe, share it. Tell me what you think down below. If you have any questions you want me to answer, write them down below. I'll answer them in the comments. Or if it's a lot of the same question, I'll make another video. You never know. Anyways, I'll talk to you beautiful people later. Bye.